Hi all, welcome to this Bundesliga January Player of the Month guide. Definitely an exciting Player of the Month ahead. I would say not going to be Royce for a change, I think. So if you could smash the links, would be awesome. Sub to the channel if you're new. Follow me on Twitter at @GIsALegend. All the links are down below for playlists in the channel and social media links as always. And remember to hit that notification bell. It would be massively appreciated so you know when uploads are up on the channel. So Player of the Month for Bundesliga could be very, very interesting. Now what I'm going to do is I'm slightly changing the way I structure it. I thought I could break down each individual player, but I thought I could actually do it in one overlay and it saves kind of cutting and cutting and cutting and cutting. So basically the potential cost at lowest would be 100k. That would be for like your Ibisevic or Duda, and like say 500k for potentially folk like Lewandowski, maybe even Goretzka could even be 500k depending on the squad aspect. Witsel could be quite expensive as well. He could be say 300k, 400k depending on, obviously you've got to factor in the routes, and also for maybe Caliguri could be fairly expensive as well. You've got to remember he's got a second in form, so his kind of card would be like 87, 88, like 87 rated, and it could be very desirable for a right back. But Player of the Month for each squad, that's obviously the route that's like, oh, build a Player of the Month squad around that player. It would be like 84 to 87 rated depending on the winner. So like I would imagine 84 rated will probably equate to players like Ibisevic and Duda, and then maybe like 85, 86 might apply to Rebic and Goretzka, Witsel and Caliguri. 87 might apply to Lewandowski, with 2 informs. I'd imagine like 2 informs will probably be generally needed for these type of routes, and they'll probably be like 90, 95k, and they'll probably cost like about 100 to 150k, 100 to 200k depending on what happens. Bundesliga minimum 5, 84 rated, 2 informs, like these type of routes. Don't be surprised if they obviously implement in the Bundesliga way that there's say what do you call it, the team that they play for is well into it, so they might do Bayern or Berlin or Schalke, Dortmund, Frankfurt, something like that into it, instead of just doing a dedicated individual route for club play for, because at the end of the day they might do 4 routes for most of them, but they might do say 5 or 6 for maybe like Lewa, Goretzka, Witsel. Well, even Rebic could be quite high, because you've got to remember as well, while he's got an inform, he's got a Europa League live card that's an 84, so do they suddenly go and make his Player of the Month card like an 87 rated, or would it be 86 rated? That's the big question. I would imagine they might want it, but the Player of the Month card, if that was above the Europa League live card, you're suddenly thinking, I don't want to pass on the Player of the Month card, because I would imagine it'd be a cam card, because he's been playing cam the last few weeks, I've noticed, so it shall be interesting. But obviously club play for, depending if they were to implement that way, or if it's Bayern, Berlin, Schalke, Dortmund, Frankfurt. Obviously as well folks, none of the players featured are guaranteed to be nominated for Player of the Month. I have only just looked over all the stats, and these were the 7 players that I saw that kind of stood out for me. I thought another one that could sneak in could be someone like Burkey, but I was like, maybe not. So I was like, I'll kind of see how it plays out. But Bayern, you'd imagine maybe like a couple. What they would probably do for each, if it's club play for them, maybe do like 2 or 3 players from that team. So like Bayern, you'll commonly maybe see like your Javi Martinez, Sulas, maybe even Kimmich. You might even see Thiago, you might see Muller feature. Here for Berlin, you'll probably commonly see Ibisevic, Plattenhardt, Stark, Kalou. Schalke, you'll see Sani, Caliguri, Rudy. Dortmund, you'll see Witsel, Toprak. Not really Kagawa now, because obviously plays for Besiktas, but you'll still see people maybe try and implement Kagawa where they can. And obviously Eintracht Frankfurt, you'll probably see Hasibi, Rebic. And if they use the informs, they might end up going like Jovic, for example, so, or Rebic himself. Playing against a lot of teams that people played against in January include Leipzig, Hanover, Hertha Berlin, Wolfsburg, Stuttgart, Bremen, Nuremberg, Hoffenheim and Freiburg. So imagine a few rated squads around that, so 83, 84 rated. Should be fairly straightforward. And the way I would look at it anyway with it is I would at least want to have a couple players from every team. So a couple Leipzig, so you might want to have Campbell and Forsberg. Hanover, you'll probably have your players from there, but same as I said with Berlin. Wolfsburg, you might have Roussillon and Julavogi. Stuttgart, you might have Zieler or Gomez. Bremen, you might have Kruse. Nuremberg, you'll try and have what goals they have. Hoffenheim, you might have Demare Bay, Hubner, Baumann. Freiburg, you might have Nils Petersen. Obviously their nations: Belgium, Bosnia, Germany, Italy, Poland, Croatia and Slovakia. Slovakia is for Duda, in case you're curious. Croatia is Rebic, and Bosnia being Ibisevic. And I would imagine these would be a rated squad, 83, 84 rated. Maybe even a little bit less for Slovakia and Bosnia, because Ibisevic and Duda not going to be the most desirable cards in the world, but they'll still try and make expensive squads for a couple of them to at least make it not completely cheap but not too expensive at the same time. Because if memory serves right, Ibisevic has an informed. Duda is due an upgrade, I believe. He'll go from silver to a gold. He's been very impressive this season, but obviously 2 informed boosts on Duda would not exactly make him the most desirable. He'd be like 84 rated, but we'd see what happens with them. But I think for me, the one that's going to, I think the winner is going to be either Goretzka, Lewandowski or Rebic. That's the 3 I would think that have the strongest shout of winning it. If Goretzka wins, I am genuinely maybe going for it, because I've got his inform, but I play the month version that is slightly better. I am like, well, depending on the cost, it would come down to the cost. As long as it's not overkill, I'll maybe do it. And I've got enough stuff in the club that I could probably do it in the first place anyway. But all in all, folks, player of the month for Bundesliga shall be interesting. Let me know in the comments down below, folks. Who do you think, and who would you like really to win the Bundesliga player of the month? Obviously, I've said the 3 that I kind of fancy. Even then, Caliguri could actually be quite a nice appealing card. But we would see what happens, of course, come a week on Friday. So that is about the, memory serves right, it should be around the 15th of February. So hopefully you find this useful as always, folks. Remember to smash the like as always, sub to the channel if you're new, find more who you fancy for Bundesliga player of the month, and I'll